Probably. Hey, everybody. Happy Friday.
Happy Friday.
I just got reminded to turn my volume down because, my phone will ring and then we'll be in the middle of the live. Well, happy Friday to everybody. It's a lot going on in the world, huh? I spent some time putting our live together tonight, and it's amazing some of the links and, some of the things that are going on. And we'll certainly get to all of that stuff. But real quick, get some hellos in. Alan Chase, he was in earlier and then left. Said he had something else going on, but wanted to say hello. Tamber Smith, welcome. Good evening. Farm Ranch Homestead, hello. One step closer. How are you, my friend? Redneck, what's up, bud? Harry Kent Hempworth says, tag, you have not given an update on the interface of the installed solar system and your backup generator. Have you got the desired interface solved? I have not. I've got it to where it'll run the house, but I do not have it to where it will charge the batteries, and I have no idea how to fix it. I've got another person coming who claims they can fix it, but we shall see. Greatest name on the internet. Welcome. LJC, my friend. How are you? Dana, welcome in. RN, how are you? My buddy Mo Engineer's in the house. Nitos, how are you? Stan Guntry. Barbara, good to see you. AK Amber. I love that name. AK Amber. Now, it might be Alaska Amber or it could be AK-47 Amber, but either way, it's awesome. Masio Parrott, good evening to you. Carrie Davis, hello. And Gregory Kissel, welcome in. Hope everybody's having a good week. Again, lots going on. Oh, we can't forget Terminator. What's up, Terminator? How are you? And Pack Rat. Good evening. Following your Lawrence County videos. Yeah, we're going to talk about that a little bit tonight. AK Amber says Alaska. Well, I like Alaska. B and I were fortunate enough we took the whole company once on the Alaskan cruise a few years back. And man, talk about God's country. It was majestic.
It was beautiful.
Yeah, the only place I've ever been where the mountain started in the water and ended in the clouds. Just absolutely amazing.
Sounds like thunder when the glaciers were breaking, or like a little bit fell off, I guess, and it sounded like thunder.
Yeah, it was absolutely amazing. All right, babe, what do you got first on your list? And
well, the first thing I have is that we went and helped our son with his bathroom. Got to spend some time with our granddaughter and our son and his wife. Girlfriend, significant other, baby mama.
Yeah, baby mama. Yep.
Anyway, got to spend some time with them. Loved it. We got to share the tiling process one more time with the.
I got to help my son tile the bathroom
with the wee one.
Yeah, wee one. He's bigger than me.
With the wee one.
Yeah.
Yes, with our.
Yep.
I got a letter or an email, he got a phone call from the tax accountant saying, hey, you guys have been ignoring my emails for a while now. And I'm like, I haven't gotten any emails. But then again, my email account has been not really working. So I haven't really haven't gone through it.
How do you not pay attention to your emails?
Because I've had that email for so long that I get so much junk mail in it that
fix it.
Hundreds a day.
Fix it.
Go take my email away.
Unsubscribe.
Oh my gosh. I don't even think that really works.
Okay. I got a solution, but real quick, Aljo, welcome in. It's good to see you. Conserve friends, welcome in as well. Did I get anybody else? Nope, I think I got everybody. So here's the thing. If you stay up on it, it's not so hard. You know why I don't get a bunch of junk mail?
I'm behind now. So
you're clear.
Anyway,
clearly.
I started giving people your email address so that we can get the emails.
So then mine gets full.
And so anyway, I've had to work on some tax stuff, which has been so I have to go back and through what check was that written for, and make notes and put it on a spreadsheet so that I can share it with the accountant, because apparently my notes in the account are not very
so what are you, just out of curiosity, what are you caught up on?
On what?
Anything.
Oh my gosh. Well,
tell me one thing that you're caught up on.
I'm here now.
I mean, I'm talking about our projects.
It's a never-ending story.
Okay.
It's not.
Yeah, guys,
it's not a caught-up thing. It's once you hit that milestone, there's the next milestone. So it's not really we're done.
Yeah, this is proof of fairy farts and rainbow dust right here.
What are you caught up on?
A lot.
Come now.
I did all my jobs this week.
You did all of your jobs. The
Yeah.
community building's up and running.
No,
We're having a wedding next weekend.
No, I'm talking about how we pay the bills. I got all my jobs done.
My job's done too.
The community building.
You had underwear, didn't you?
Yeah.
Did you get to eat?
Are you caught up on laundry?
Yeah. For right now, your clothes are clean.
All right.
You got extra.
All right. Lisa, welcome in. Good to see you. Grateful Hearts Ranch. Good to see you too. All right. What else you got? Because you're clearly in La La Land.
No, I'm not in La La Land.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway. What else? We're looking for the backfill for the barn.
Oh yeah. Hey, Chris,
Chris,
how are you, bud? Yeah, Terminator. I want to address this. B, you'll have to come to our ladies' night on Monday night. You know, me and B have talked about this because she's gotten an invite to do a ladies' night several times. It's just not really B's thing, right? Is it okay to say that?
That's okay that you say that.
Was it wrong in any way?
No. It's yeah. I didn't even know. So yeah, we'll just leave it at that.
Okay. Silver Lining, welcome in. How are you, friend? We miss you. Okay, keep going.
The backfill. You were going to talk about that.
Oh my goodness, yeah. So Dorothy Holloway, welcome in. Hey, so you guys know I'm trying to get the barn built, and we did the footings. You guys have seen the footings, and I've got to get the pads poured, but I got to get everything backfilled. And man, I just can't find enough dirt. It's like everywhere I go, I just keep using it. And so this is some great advice to any of you guys who are homesteading, starting homesteading, whatever it is. Keep it. Don't get rid of it. You will use it somewhere along the way. And I've cleaned every pile of dirt and, you know, broken concrete and everything I can think of for backfill. And I'm still haven't come up with enough to get it all backfilled. So I got to work on that this weekend. I got to find it from somewhere. You know, you hate to go out in the pasture and scrape off the grass just to backfill, right? Like that's counterproductive.
Yeah.
So I don't know what to do, but buy it. Oh, here's the other thing I could do. I could steal B's compost.
I thought you were going to say topsoil back here, but
I could do that too.
Good either.
I could take your topsoil that you have designated for the backyard, and I could take your compost.
No, we just need to keep looking. See if we can find some of them shillings or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
But or like you could, because you can use other material, right? You can use broken concrete or bricks or.
Sure, you got any of that?
No,
I already used all that. I'm looking for a helpful solution.
Have you looked at like Craigslist or something?
No.
Do they still have Craigslist?
No.
Is Craigslist still up and running?
Hey, Skanes girl, welcome in. Beautiful Lois Wesley's in the house. Hello,
Lewis Wesley.
Looks like we're getting commercials. RN says tag. I keep all trees and all dirt. Whenever I have tree or dirt work done, it always comes in handy. It does. And I had a bunch of it. But the Mongolian slave driver next to me seems to think we need new things all the time. And I got to build stuff all the time. So I've kind of gone through it all.
Well, I'm hoping that once, you know, the house is done and the barns are done, then we don't have to. Well, no, because now we're building a food forest academy. So we have to have other.
That's why I don't want to use up your mulch and your compost, because I have a use for that later on. I'm just not there yet. But
yeah. Okay, so the next thing on my list was vanilla air fresheners, because like I have an update as of right now because I just went. So anyway, long story. I got this email from a friend who said that they had heard that putting the tree air fresheners,
car air fresheners
that were like in the scent of vanilla in the barn, that it keeps the flies out of the barn. And so I was like, hey, I'm going to Walmart, buy a pack of those. So I put them in the barn, and I actually took one and rubbed it on Freeman, and instantly he had less flies on him, because did you see how many flies he had on him? He was pretty covered, his body, his face, his legs, his everywhere. And so I rubbed it all over him, and it helped like instantly. But then when I went out to do chores just now, 3 of the air fresheners are missing. Like I hung them on the poles where I thought would be high enough that they would not reach them.
Mm-hmm. Clearly. So your cows ate your vanilla.
I'm hoping that the chickens like messed with them and like pecked them around and I can't find them, but I have a sneaking suspicion that the cows ate them.
Well, I think it's logical that the chickens climbed up the pole and got them.
No, it's not like they climbed up the pole, but if they could see it dangling, maybe they were like, what is that? And they, pecked at it. They were attached. I used the band that comes with them, and attached them to like a screw that was hanging out.
That's actually a good idea. Packrat says if you're at home to direct, you could put a sign board out on the road that says folks can unload clean fill dirt here. That's a good idea, actually. I might do that anyway. That's right. Hey, AK Amber wants to know if you've tried neem oil.
I have not.
No, maybe you should.
To spray it on them.
Hey, the future cans and Toby Baldwin's in the house. How are you, JB? Good evening. Indiana Mike, how are you? JB, good to see you. Juby Joe. So I wonder if vanilla soap and towels or fabric would help.
Or if I just used vanilla, because I have vanilla.
Yep. Amy says sounds like cow chicken toys.
Chicken toys.
So if we wake up and the cows are dead, it's your fault. Is that what you're saying?
I was like, oh my gosh, I hope that they did not eat that, because there's like a little rubber band on there. And could you imagine if those get all entangled into their intestines? And I'm like, oh my gosh, I can't believe I did that.
Carrie Davis says spray blue Listerine in a spray bottle. You could do that without killing them. If they're still alive in the morning, you can go get some blue.
Stop. It was the chickens. I'm thinking it was the chickens, and they were batting it around, and that's what happened.
And Mo for the win. Mo says your cow pies won't have any flies.
They'll smell like vanilla. Gross.
Yeah. Well, if they live long enough to have pies, right? One step closer says, Tag, stop teasing her. No, why would I do that? That ain't no fun. Louise says, I've tried neem oil and it didn't work. These Kansas flies are crazy.
Even the stuff I bought from Lou, the stuff I bought from the Green Acres didn't work. I spray them with it, and it actually now Cowboy, if I spray him, he will go right into the pond. He's like,
you don't like it.
I don't like it.
RN says, Tag, if you find someone with a lot of dirt work done where the excavator is having to haul off the dirt, then you can sometimes get it real cheap. Yeah, we've done some of this. I've gotten some broken up concrete out of parking lots that I got delivered to because they didn't want to do it. We've gotten lots of mulch that way. We've gotten compost that way. But right at the moment, I'm just having a hard time, finding it.
Even telephone poles.
Yeah, Jimmy Joe says, I'll put vanilla on my body while outside. Got a cow farm close by. Hey, there you go. You could be like the human flyer. Yeah, AK Amber says, neem oil is amazing. I use it on myself in the garden. You just dilute it more for human or animal use. Add a little peppermint oil to it. It's all natural. Yeah, and Chris says they use vanilla up there and it works great. Vitringo's in the house. Does anyone know if Blue Eddy solar panels can be used with an EcoFlow solar generator? I don't see why it couldn't. I would check the connections because sometimes they use different connections. Like some use an Anderson connector or whatever versus something else. I would check that, but I don't see why you couldn't. Let me check the voltage too. Make sure you're not, using a 24-volt panel for a 12-volt system. Nito says Listerine sprayed near my doors for doors or outdoor seating areas helps with the mosquitoes. Hey, Postmodern Soapbox says we feed our livestock garlic powder and oregano oil in their feed mix every morning to keep the flies away. Yeah, Bee's been doing this.
I have garlic salt from Redmond and kelp. What else do they have?
Yeah, Juby Joe says homemade vanilla. Yeah, Lisa, I caught that comment. I just blew right by it, unfortunately. But earlier there was a comment saying dig the Wallapini to get the fill, but I don't see that comment anymore. I can't dig the Wallapini to get the fill because I've already dug the Wallapini and used all the fill. I don't have it anymore. I mean, I can.
Yeah, because after you build the Wallapini, you'll still need to fill.
I'll need to backfill all that too, which I don't have any dirt for. Right? Terminator says, dig a new pond. I actually got one being dug right now. As we speak, the problem is they use all the dirt from the pond to build the dam.
Right.
So our 4th pond is under construction right now. They were up there today working on it. Some just got the pipe showed up yesterday for the overflow. And so I'm super excited to get it done, because really the reason why we want this pond is because it opens up 2 more paddocks for the animals. So I can fence it in, and then 2 more sets of animals will have access to water where we don't have to, haul it.
Right. Which would be helpful.
I bet B would prefer a community women's GSD gathering of some kind rather than a social. She might have too much going on to cut time for a nattering. Yeah, it's just not her thing. It's YouTube's never really been her thing. Fair.
Right. Yes, it's your channel.
Yeah, well, it kind of.
I hear you say all the time, it's my channel.
No. Yeah, it's just not B. I have to really push her. I want her to do more videos and more shorts and all that, but I can only push so far, and so hard. The irrigation district corners the broken concrete to put along the canal around here. Yeah, we get it sometimes. I haven't had it I got 1 load this year, a bunch of loads the year before, but that's been it so far this year. Or what else you got?
The air freshener. I hauled in, so I had to go get feed. I usually wait until my containers are all empty so that I'm not pouring new feed in on top of old feed. So I go through all of my cans empty, and then I'll go through and fill them up. If I need the cows to get into a paddock or go somewhere, get them away from somewhere, I'll get some feed or scoop some field pellets and put them in a bucket and put them where I need them to be so that I can bribe them, basically. So and then chicken scratch and just snackies. Basically they feed on grass or bugs or whatever that they find in the wild, but I keep the cows typically eat the grass that's out in the field.
Do they eat the bugs?
No, but I'm talking about the animals in general. So or the chickens like to eat their eggs after I hard boil them too. So anyway, so I had to go haul in 12 bags of feed. That was quite a chore. Hauling them back and forth. That was, should wait until you're here to do it. Saturday we had a dinner. Do you remember how many people we ended up having?
Oh no, I didn't count them. 50, 60. No, 43.
I thought it was in the 40s.
Yeah, 43.
And we had 3 families.
Newer
families who were either just new to the area, or one had been here already, but kind of new in hanging out, I guess.
Yeah.
And then a couple of them, or one was actually, they were both 2 hours away, weren't they? In different directions. So this was kind of a meeting place, and we had a luncheon. I was able to score some stuff. I had a gift, got some grape jelly and some seeds, long bean seeds, and homemade yogurt. That didn't last actually very long. These are still here. Yes. And then this, anybody?
It's called Masterpiece.
Know what this is? Yep. It's called Masterpiece. Anybody hear of that? By Human Consciousness Support, Detoxification Support.
Yeah, so the owner of that company was the one that came into the community to check out the community, and it was a great, cool event. I thought we had a really, really good time.
Yeah, I think that they or I guess we all got along pretty well with everybody. There was
LJC says she uses
good
it.
Conversation. Oh.
Yeah, pretty cool. Hey, Pack Rat, I want to go back to Pack Rat said, why don't you just dig a hole for a root cellar? The problem is if I dig a hole, it fills with water and then the animals drown. I do not have the bandwidth to work on another project right now.
You had to save 6 baby turkeys out of a hole.
Yes.
That we had dug holes.
A post hole. We dug for a post. And luckily it was in weeds, and I just happened to stumble across the mama, and she was acting weird. And so I bent down and looked down in the hole, and there were 6 baby turkeys stuck in a hole.
Yeah.
So,
those were the ones that it's our turkey. We found her and she has 6 babies. Well, she had 6 babies and he was moving the skid loader back and forth, which kind of stirred her from where she was at. So I grabbed her and put her in a pen to keep her safe. Got it all set up. There's a big 3-foot chub of telephone pole that was cut off the top of a pole that we had made the pole barn with. And it was cut off and it was laying there. So I drug it into the run and stuck it underneath the roosting bar to allow birds to get up on that and then to get up onto the roost. So it was like a step stool, I guess. Well, it was always kind of a little farther away from the roost, and she had the turkey that I put in there has these babies that are less than a week old, probably.
And one died.
I moved it, and then the next day I came back and I checked on her, and it had rolled all the way to the side of the door, and one of the birds was underneath it. So like, I'm like, oh, here, I'm going to set this up perfect for her. And she must have gotten up on top of there. And when she went to jump off, it like pushed back and it rolled over one of her babiys. So
yeah, and these are turkeys that were hatched naturally. She made the nest, she disappeared, she showed up with 6 baby turkeys.
Mm-hmm.
So what I think is funny though is they lived out in the wilderness their first week of life, and one day with you and one's already dead.
I was trying my best.
Amy B wants to know, how long does husked sweet corn last in the fridge? I've been at work all week and I'm finally getting back to it.
It'd probably be fine. I mean, you'll know it'd be all wrinkly, and even if it's a little bit wrinkly, it's still edible.
Yeah, Pack Rat said they probably bust through a wire fence just to get to a hole or hurt themselves. Yes, that is absolutely true. They will. Hey, Banquet of Consequences, welcome. Good to see you. Hubby and I last week strung electric fence line 3 inches and 6 inches from the ground where the skunks kept digging under the fence. Seemed to have stopped him so far. Oh, good. Congratulations. RN says, do you mean the husk removed? I have eaten sweet corn a week or more with the husk left on. Yeah, and I think she said husks on, if I remember correctly. Right. What else you got?
I made elderberry syrup for the pancakes. Turned out real nice and thick, but it is bitter. It is so bitter. It is like not good. I put sugar in it, put cinnamon in it, cooked it down, strained it out, and it is bitter.
You've had a lot of victories lately, haven't you?
Basically. Chicken food. I'm still going to feed it to you, man.
Yeah, it happens to the best of us. You know, there's B and I are going to give a talk Thursday at the Midwest Preparedness Project just about homesteading and just, you know, through it. And our topic is headspace. And, you know, headspace is so much of it because there's, you know, a trial at every corner, you know. One step closer says time for elderberry wine then.
Can you still use it? I don't. It's not good.
Yeah, does anybody have experience with elderberry more than obviously we do? And we've been raising it for a while, never had this problem. But this batch, and they were all purple and soft and all that stuff.
There were no stems.
No stems, and it's bitter. I'd love to hear people's take on that. What else you got?
That's it.
All right, cool. You want to talk about your garden a little bit? Because our garden is rocking. There's lots of tomatoes, lots of peppers, lots of potatoes, corns everywhere, right? Melons are doing good. Elderberry, we had a bumper crop of elderberry.
Yeah, try to say that a
lot.
Yeah,
Pack Rat said, did you keep all the stems out of the elderberries? I hear they can make it bitter. Yeah, we went. That was a chore, but yes, we did. Here's B went out there today and got a crate full of tomatoes to eat. And what are you gonna make?
That's a big crate too.
You're gonna make some salsa, right?
Yeah.
That's right.
Make you some thick and chunky.
Yes. Now there's a big thing inside the community about thick and chunky, just so everybody knows. And it comes from Yoda, but at the end of the day, thick and chunky are not the same thing. Okay, because you can have thick baby food, right? And you can have chunky soup. But it needs to be thick and chunky.
Oh.
Right? So what I'm talking about is I like salsa that is very thick with big pieces.
So if it could only be thick or chunky, which would you prefer?
I just won't eat it. Neither.
Salsa. I just won't eat it.
Salsa.
I'm not picky. I'm not a picky eater.
I'm not. But I spent, all the time and energy to get this far. I want it the way I want it.
I want it the way I want it.
What's wrong with that?
I'm not picky. I just want it the way I want it.
RN says if elderberry plants are new plants from the root instead of cuttings, it may not taste good. This is their second year. Most of these, is that right? Third year.
Third.
So most of them are 3 years old.
Are new plants from the root instead of.
Let me go back there. There you go.
Cuttings. No, they're cuttings.
Juby Joe says she's a major tomato eater. Yeah, I snagged a couple of them out of there too. If the pieces are too big, they'll fall off of the chip. Then you got the wrong chip. I'm not giving on this one step closer. Bread and butter fridge pickles and cucamelons. Give it to her the way she wants it. Yes, Captain Obvious. 100%. 100%. Welcome, by the way. Tinfoil hat idea. The plane spraying your property sprayed something that messed up your elderberries. The good news is Lisa at least gave you an out here, right? You can at least make the argument.
We'll see if the other ones turn out the same.
Be my Hungarian heart tomatoes are so big, even though I tied them up with a rope, they still fell and broke the branches, some way over a pound. Oh, love that.
I have some up there that are pretty stinking heavy.
Yeah, Susie makes juice from her elderberries, then makes jelly. Yeah, I think that's what the plan was. As long as it has cilantro and a little lime juice, the salsa will be fine.
Yep.
And here's the good news. One step closer. She ain't making it for you.
Yes, I am. He can eat it too.
He can, but I want it thick and chunky.
He can eat thick and chunky?
No.
He can eat thick and chunky also.
Yes, he can. Chopped up beefsteak tomato will with a mess of over easy quail eggs, the breakfast of freedom. All off the homestead. Oh, that's awesome. I love that. Anything else you talk about as far as your garden goes?
I've got basically right now everything to make tomatoes.
Everything to make tomatoes. That's awesome.
I'm sorry, everything.
Well, how do you make a tomato? Hold on, go on. I want to dig into this.
Everything to make salsa. Stop. Everything to make salsa. I was looking at the picture of tomatoes. So I got the onions and the tomatoes and the bell peppers and the jalapeno peppers, cilantro.
Juby Joe says drove from Houston to Tampa, had a gallon of cherry tomatoes for snacks, and it made me wired. I think you can overdose on everything, Juby Joe.
Had a gallon of cherry tomatoes.
Today she's making peach jam and homemade bread. Aw, she loves you. I'll just be enjoying Hatch chili season down here. All right. Let's talk about the community building.
Yeah.
Oh, we're making some ground. I got the ceiling on the covered porch in. I just used concrete board because I had a ton of it. And I'm working on getting battens across where I put the screws in. I'm about halfway. I've still got lots to do, but.
You call them battens?
Yeah. But it's just concrete board again. I had, so much of it. We see here, well tag, my mommy tomato and daddy tomato love each other very much. Yes, sir. Yep. So, again, coming along a long way. Hey, Mary Michelle, how are you? What else we got? Working on siding. That's one side of it. So we got the siding up on that side. We're now currently working on the opposite side. And we'll hopefully get it up tomorrow and have it finished. And then I'll start working on the front and the back. The front, I can't really do till I pour that concrete out there. I want to do that first. But the back, we could certainly do. So hopefully we get that wrapped up in. Hopefully. I don't know if I can say this word. Pappasito's salsa, I could eat like soup. I love salsa if it's the right kind. I'm just not a big fan of the pureed baby food salsa. I'm just not.
How are you going to pour the concrete in there? You're going to have to
What do you mean? I'm going to back
push it.
No, I'm going to back the truck up. I'm going to back it right up between the big trees. It's got a 15-foot chute and jump right in the back and drive forward. It'd be easy, babe. Super, super easy. Indiana Mike says, just send B a squash salsa recipe. You're welcome. She don't read her email, Mike. You're not paying attention. You're not paying attention, Indiana.
He sent it to yours.
Well, if you sent it to mine, she'll never receive it. So either way, you're screwed.
Here's the thing. If somebody says, hey, I'm going to send you an email, I'll go look for it.
Yeah.
But if you just send me an email amongst like the 600, whatever emails I get, then I probably won't see it.
I think it's crazy that you can live in an existence where you're not accountable to those things, because I can't let emails just go.
Yeah.
I can't. I have to. That's how, ultimately
That's how
I
they
make my
communicate
living.
with you.
Yeah. I mean, I have to stay on top of it.
Right.
Banquet of Consequences looks awesome. Tag. I haven't seen the community building recently. Yeah, we're making big ground. It's a lot of work, but it will not be long, and we'll have a place to gather. And I'm very, very excited about that. They roast the batches. I think she's talking about the salsa.
The chilies.
Yeah, or the chilies. Okay.
Oh, the salsa.
Yeah, Camber likes the trees on the porch. Tulip Ranger, how are you? Says, do you need a cellar? That would be a big hole to dig. Yeah, and the problem is I already have one. And so I don't want to just dig another hole just to dig a hole that I then have to dig animals out of,
Yeah.
So, hey, Palmetto Paratroopers in the house. What's up, bud? Long time no see. Good to see you. Louise Wesley says she sent you an email.
Okay.
2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago? No?
I don't know. But see, here's the thing. I can go to my search and I can just type in her name and then it'll send me whatever. It'll show me whatever within the last,
You are an absolute mess. I made bread and butter pickles out of zucchini and yellow squash. Tasted good. I bet it was awesome.
Ooh.
Mo says, did you decide on the bathroom names? Well, this has still been quite the topic around here.
We're naming the bathrooms.
Well, no, what he's talking about is I really want on the girls' bathroom to put blah, 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 blah. And on the boys, put one blah. I think it's funny. But some of the girls just don't find it as funny as I find it. Tamber says, Parasito seafood, enchiladas, and sangria margarita. Tacos for dinner tonight with homemade mango habanero hot sauce.
Is somebody hungry?
I like that. The shift of protocol from physical mail to email has been an education. Yes. What's Lisa say? Cerebro Capital commercial. She said she sent you an email this week. Yeah, so anybody out there, if you send B an email and she don't respond, it's because she never noticed it.
Send me a text message and let me know.
So you need people to send you an email and then send you a text. You're not responsible enough just to manage
or just
it for
call
yourself.
me. Just call me and then I'll know you called.
Oh my
need
goodness.
something.
Oh my goodness, B.
Or just stop by. I'm here.
Yeah. All right. If you look down here, as again, I did the ceiling of the overhang, but if you look real close, and I'll show you another picture too, I got every window in and every door in. So it's completely tight. The weather could come, at least for the first year, and wouldn't have much impact because everything else is on. I still got to cut off the overhang of the roof on the front, as you see. And then I got to concrete that floor. But
doesn't it look weird that there's dirt between those concretes right there?
No, those two concretes are pinned together, and it's sitting out there on a footing. It's
I know, but why is there dirt in the middle of it?
There'll be more dirt when I build the other footing, fill it with dirt to continue that on. Just backfill. Well, except I don't have any backfill, right?
Right.
Tamber says the mangoes make the salsa better. I think corn makes salsa good too. I was completely carnivore diet for dinner. 1 pound ribeye. That's a good dinner.
Ooh.
I don't even log into my own email account. My wife does it for me. See, could you manage my email?
Do you want me to give you my email address?
No. You notice?
Mine?
No. He says his wife does it for him. That's another.
I know, but you could be my wife.
Except that's another service you could provide.
Or you could provide it for me since you're used to it and you know how it all works and you know how to do this stuff.
You don't know how to answer an email, B?
I know.
Like, seriously, you're going to make this comment on YouTube?
I know how to make an email work, but
okay, there you go.
It's just junk mail usually.
Yeah, Packrat says, look at those tree columns. Yeah, those things are so heavy. I have no idea what they weigh, but it was an absolute struggle getting them there. But those are hedge trees in case anyone was curious. Louise says, never mind, it was a text.
Oh, see, she sent a text.
Did you clearly didn't respond.
I don't know if I did or not.
No, you didn't, or she wouldn't be saying it. So you're not responding to emails. You're not responding to text messages.
I don't.
And you make the argument you don't live in fairy farts and rainbow dust.
Come on now.
Seriously.
There's nothing wrong with litter.
Papacito's employee must sign docs not to divulge recipes. My favorite restaurant. I had my son work there. Oh, super cool. Thanks, Aljo. I like it. We are making ground and we will be closed in shortly. In Decatur, Nebraska, they have a Pop and Doc's bathroom named Sitter and Pointer. I like that. I like that a lot. I've been to Decatur, Nebraska. Tamara says they were very pretty. Yeah, I like them too. Not responding to emails while she's on vacation. Exactly, Pat Pratt. This is exactly my point. Yeah. I'm lucky that we can provide a life for my beautiful wife that she doesn't have to pay attention to shit.
I don't have to leave the house. I don't have to go anywhere.
Oh my goodness. B, you were hilarious. I totally relate to the email thing. I never transitioned either. I think the amount of time it forces me to be at the screen is why I don't like it. I think that's probably true for you too. You know, you'd rather be out in the greenhouse, right?
I'd rather be doing anything else. Laundry, weeding.
Juby Joe says, I loathe my emails. Louise says, lay off tag. You're not my boss, Louise. So how's that? Put that in your pipe and smoke it.
I can't tell him either because he'll tell me that I'm not his boss either.
Yes, I will. Not having to leave my own land is where real freedom is. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. And guys, I give B a whole lot of hard time about it, but the truth is it's honoring to me that she gets to live the exact life she wants to live. It really is.
Yeah.
I mean, it's rewarding. It makes me feel like it's, that the efforts are worth it. But she still lives in a land of cotton candy and rainbows. So.
La la.
Since I retired, I ignore emails, just clean 3,000 emails from my Proton account. Yeah.
3,000.
Yeah. See, the longer you wait, the more there is to do. And I think Banquet of Consequences can talk about this, right?
Maybe they can show me how to clear 3,000.
LJC says, Miss Louise is going to go mama bear on you if you don't be careful. I know, right? I know. But, that's the way it is. So, yep, Dana's got 1,000 emails and counting. Let's go to Papacitos or Papa Dude. Juby Joe, you got to be close to Houston. I've never been there. Yep, amen. Yeah. After I retired from Allstate, I don't like to even open a laptop. I don't blame you. I don't. I hope to be there someday. Palmetto says I still have access to my first email account in 1998. Is it an AOL account? Juby Joe says I have 200,000 emails.
Oh man.
What are you looking at me like? You're not so bad now?
I don't know. I don't know how many emails I have.
Oh, it's Yahoo.
It's to the point where like Google shut my account down. I had to go back and
clean it up.
Yes.
Yep. So here's a picture from the front. As you see, I got all the windows in, taped, and I'm working on trimming them out. They're actually all trimmed as of today, but I took this picture a couple days ago. So we got that all done, and then we'll start, hopefully start siding this and get that out of the way. Hey, Ed, how are you? Says AOL is almost online. Yeah, almost. LJC says, I still use my Yahoo email from the 90s. Okay, I got a question for you because I have a Yahoo account from the 90s. I refused to upgrade it, and they send me an email every day saying I needed to upgrade my Yahoo, but they never done anything about it 7 years later. Do you get the same ones, or did you just comply, LJC, and update it? Yeah. Left Houston. I may drive 14 hours to go eat it again. Nito says, I will do a search, then mass delete and clean out mine. So Nito says you can mass delete.
Yeah, but to do a search, that's takes forever.
Yeah, but you're never going to search through them. There's so many of them. Are you going to go back and search through all of them?
I don't know.
The accountant would say you're not.
The account. I took care of the accountant. I'm back at zero.
Juby Joe says, I'm trying to find my old AOL account. Well, let us know if that works, because I think that would be funny. I lost access to my Yahoo account. I made a really strong password, wrote it down, and my dog ate the paper. Yeah. Tamara says I'm 150 miles from Houston. Hey, Starla Doak. Hi, everyone. Sorry I'm late, but I had to watch Trump and RFK Jr. Hey, I hope you're feeling better. I hope you're feeling good. I think about you all the time. I didn't update to my knowledge, but I don't get those emails. They may have updated it for me, but I won't use their app.
You don't have the app either.
Vicky Poland, welcome in. Hey, all. Just got home from home. Howdy from Willis, Texas. Just heard you say something about Papacitos and Papadokes. Love those restaurants. Yeah, glad you made it. All right. So there's been a lot going on our side politically on the I'm talking about the local front. So we had another meeting. So the county commissioners were going to meet to discuss them raising the mill levy and raising our taxes. And so I went to a meeting last night. I filmed it and released it on the other YouTube channel. For those of you who don't know, we have a YouTube channel called Northeast Kansas Open Government. It's fairly new. And so we've just been going to all of the government meetings, recording them, not editing them, and just posting them online so that people can know what's going on in their local county, because where we live, they like to do meetings at 2:00 in the afternoon where taxpayers are out trying to earn enough taxes to pay their increased taxes. So we've been working really, really hard to get that done. And it was a fascinating meeting. I guess I'll let you start. What would you take from the meeting?
I think it was interesting how it took, I think it was Garen who kind of pointed out the fact that when they were like, oh, our people, we just increased our people's pay. And it was like, okay, you increased your people's pay. But then Garen was like, wait a minute, you increased it across the board, but then there's extra money to give to people who they see fit. So they had the opportunity to have across the board raise of 4%, but then also the opportunity to have a raise if their superior thought that they should be put in another position.
That's not exactly what they said.
The guy whose mother was there also came back up and said, let me get this straight. Yeah,
but that's not what they said, babe. So I actually thought it was a shame. And if I was an employee of the county, I would feel betrayed, because the county said the reason they had to raise the tax on everybody is to provide a 4% cost of living increase to all the employees. When they were questioned, why do they do COLA increases, or cost of living, right?
Yeah.
Why they do COLA increase instead of performance-based? They said they do have the opportunity to get additional raises if they move up. Like let's say a tow truck driver or a dump truck driver has 3 levels. You can move up through those 3 levels, which I guess is performance-based in some regard. I'm going to tell you guys something. I have companies, and you guys know this. I'll never do COLA increases ever. That's the worst raise in the history of time, because what it does is it rewards the bottom at the cost of the top. I would rather take the exact same amount of money that I'm going to spend on a 4% COLA raise and give it to all my top performers, because that's how you build culture, and that's how you keep the best ones. But anyway, so yes, they wanted to make the whole tax increase about employee raises. Now, so in my county, they gave the employees a $1 an hour raise plus 15% last year, and they gave them a 4% raise this year. And that's what the the big fight was over for. But what else did you think about?
So it was 19% plus $1.
Plus $1, yeah. So it's a 20% increase
over 2 years.
Over 2 years, right?
What else did I take from it? Go ahead.
You keep going. So they said another one of the excuses that they gave, and this was a picture of the sign that was up there, is they said, do you know why your property taxes are increasing? 33,000 acres in Jackson County have been taken off the tax roll by the U.S. government. So what they're really saying is that the Indian reservation that exists in the county, it's their fault because they don't pay their fair share of taxes. That's what they're actually saying there without actually calling out the reservation. So the reservation does pay property tax on some of the property. They don't on other pieces of the property, but they also contribute a lot to the local schools. They're involved. The other thing is that the county services, so like the road departments and all those, don't service the reservation. The reservation has all their own stuff. And so they also blamed it on this, was another part of their argument. Get rid of that one. The third part thing of their argument was the final reason they had to raise taxes was because the cost of gravel had gone up and the cost of everything had gone up. Packrat says performance-based in government can equal the boss's favorite rather than rewarding big performers. Okay, well, here's the thing. The only way performance-based works is if you come up with a system that's fair, measurable, and objective. It's fair to everybody. It's measured. You can measure the results, and you can't measure the results if you don't have a clear goal. So that forces you to create a clear goal for each one of them. And it's objective, which means it's not a matter of my opinion, right? And so that's how you get away from it. But I would still much prefer that over just a across-the-board raise. Some other things that I took from it was when we first went in, it was interesting. They came to us, and because we've been filming them, and they gave us these white papers. I know you guys can't read them, but if you guys want, you can stop it and blow it up and look at it. But basically, we have forced the county to have a media guideline because we've been filming everything. And so we walked in and we're presented with the new media guidelines on what you could do and what you couldn't do as far as filming goes. The good news is there was nothing major in it. It was, you can't be in the walkways, you can't, just those kinds of things, more safety related items. But I do think it's funny that they're tired of us being in there, that they thought they had to create a resolution of the county commissioners to address people filming their meetings.
Well, were you doing anything that was on that list before? Okay,
no,
so they're not really, they weren't really telling you can't do anything that you had.
No, the big change for us was they may make you take the camera to the back of the room. So I can't have the camera up front, which means that you struggle with audio. So all that really means is that you got to put a mic on somebody in the front row so that you get good audio. But we handled it, super fine. One Step Closer says should outcome most government services and fire the employees. Well, we have way too big a government, LJC says, I wish I could get a raise. I tried to go back to part-time teaching, but they would only give me the amount that they have been paying for the last 8 years. They have raised tuition 3 to 5% every single year. Yeah, what's that tell you, right? So they presented this to us. A couple things that I found interesting is Mark Pruitt, which is one of our commissioners, opened the meeting with, hey, everybody, let's be respectful. There'll be differences of opinions, basically.
I did hear him say that. Yeah,
let's not yell at everybody. And it wasn't very long into it before he was pounding his fist into the table and yelling at everybody. It's because they're curious and want to watch it. If you go to Northeast Kansas Open Government, you'll see the video I posted today. And you can actually see him in there pounding his fist and yelling at everybody because he got laughed at. He got laughed at because he made the statement that performance-based raises were not fair. And the entire audience erupted and laughed at him. And he got very upset. I'll also tell you that it was really cool that last year at this exact same meeting, there was maybe 12 people in the room. And last night there was 100, which means we're absolutely waking them up.
That's nice.
Yeah. So I thought that was really, really big. Another real interesting thing that I found disturbing was the county accountant was talking about a shortcomings in the budget because the cost of things going up,
right,
because of the reservation not paying their fair share, those and because of the cost of living increases for the employees, that the mechanisms that they have to make up those is taxes. And it's no different than us as a consumer. We can just put it on our credit card. So their advice to us was, if we can't pay our taxes or we can't pay our mortgage, to just go further in debt. And so I thought it was absolutely ridiculous. Skane's girl says, I'm in the middle of that video watching on my breaks. Yeah, super cool.
Like they're trying to ensure that you feel somehow.
Well, I think it's crazy that
card, then.
I think it's crazy that they would equate them stealing other people's money with me having to go further in debt. Like that ain't even close to the same thing. Packrat, politicians hate being laughed at. They can afford being disliked, disagreed with, but laughed at is effective. Oh, and the entire room, Packrat, laughed at him.
And you think that they were laughing at him?
Oh, yes. When he said it, everybody started laughing. And he slammed his fists on the table and barked at everybody. And it was, the other commissioners even looked at him like, dude, we're being taped. You know this, right? And he kind of lost control. But I thought it was
I'm gonna have to go back and watch that.
Yeah. You know, Skanes Girl says, I don't know about y'all, but if I can't meet my budget, I have to cut something else out. That's right. And this is actually the argument we've been making the whole time, is this is not the time to raise taxes. It's hard on everybody. Us at home, if I can't afford Netflix, I don't get to have Netflix.
Right.
It's just the way it is. I don't get to steal other people's money.
Right.
So again, one of the ways that we fight back, we created this YouTube channel. This is actually the thumbnail from that YouTube channel, that video that went out this morning. Some of the other things we do, and I'm only sharing this with you guys because maybe you guys want to go on the offense in your county too. Then this video, we take clips, like here's a post on Facebook, and we begin to spread it through Facebook. We begin to spread it in other places so more and more people get to see it, and hopefully in that make a change. On the other picture on the screen that I wanted to tell you, if you look up front, there's four people facing us. The first three are the commissioners. Keith Kelly, Dan Brennan, and Mark Pruitt. The top of the head of the other guy, that is just the county accountant. But that's them. That's the packed room that we were in. And again, remember, as I told you guys last year, there was 12 people here. And
that guy, the accountant, is the accountant for other counties as well.
Yeah. He does a few different counties.
But these commissioners live in this county.
Yes. Yeah. Keith Kelly lives in Hoyt. Dan Brenner lives in Holton. And I'm not sure where Pruitt lives, but that should be a good part of the clip to highlight. Good short video.
To do a short?
Yeah, well, I've sent this video to several people who want to break it up and do those kinds of things.
And they're allowed to?
I'm sure. It's the video. The video is my property. I can give it to whoever I want to. Let me see here. One thing I can say is what awesome material they have provided for an ad against them during the next election cycle. Oh, yeah. And, you know, I don't delete videos, so we have it all that we could use at another time if we wanted to. Could their raising property taxes cause people to lose their property? Of course it could.
Yeah.
100%. Because here's the thing, because the evaluations of real estate, which we're going to talk later about tonight, but the evaluations of real estate goes up. Therefore, your insurances go up. Therefore, your taxes go up. Therefore, your escrow goes up. There was a single mom in the audience who spoke for a little while about how she's afraid of being foreclosed upon because her payment has gone up $200 over the last year due to the insurance is going up and the escrow amounts going up for her property. And, you know, she's like, well, you know, I didn't change anything. My house is the same house. And, you know, I don't live frivolously. I'm a single mom. I work every hour I can work that I don't have my kids. When I have my kids, I have my kids. There's nothing else I can do about it. And it seems like you're trying to run out the middle and lower class people here in Jackson County, to which, of course, they didn't comment on. RN says follow the money. Always follow the money. Jimmy Joe says, I remember during the lockdowns, was rolling into Houston about 3 a.m., drove 14 hours, and there was almost nobody on the road. Coming in from East I-10 and 290 was like driving down huge fields. Yeah, but we are waging the battle, guys, and it's very interesting. I would tell you guys to go watch some of those things and, you know, get involved in your county, and not just even your county. You know, we went 2 weeks ago, we went up to a neighboring county. There's a big, they're proposing a big energy corridor, and you guys heard me talk about it. And they're going to eminent domain, a 5-mile stretch all the way through the state of Kansas, Oklahoma, Missouri, Illinois, down into Texas. But over 100 million acres are being proposed to build this brand new energy corridor. And thus we went up to fight it and to at least learn about how you can combat it. And then just the next day, I thought I'd show you guys this, if you'd like this. This is actually Resolution 2405 from the Smith County County Commissioners, and they put forth a resolution blocking this company and the government's attempt to take that land in their county. But this is the thing, this only works in their county, and they'll win or they won't, but at least they're fighting back up north, right on the line. So I hope more and more counties begin to do that, but I think you got to put pressure on your commissioners, which, again, when we film the videos for our commissioners and stuff, guys, I want to be fair and honest and open. This is why I don't edit the videos.
Right.
I want everybody to see the entire story and not just have, you know, some kind of spin on it. Property tax is insidious. That's why you have property tax freezes in big cities for the elderly. It looks bad when news crews can interview grandma having to sell her family home. Well, I'm going to tell you, if I run across someone who's actually lost their home and is leaving their home, I'll do everything I can to film it.
Didn't they say,
get it out there.
Wasn't there a story where there was a old lady who had 300 acres and they were going to foreclose on her because she couldn't pay her taxes, and the commissioner said she needs to sell some land?
Yeah. The Keith Kelly, which is the first guy in that picture, he had made this statement to a lady who was worried. She wasn't losing her land. She was worried because she's on Social Security now. She was worried.
It just keeps going up.
It keeps going up that she's not going to be able to keep up with the taxes. And their advice was sell some of your land. Well, this is the thing, guys. A lot of people don't understand this, but a lot of these farms are generational farms.
Right.
I mean, they've been in the family 100 years.
Right.
Been paid off forever.
Right.
You know, and now,
right.
And now they risk losing it. You know, I just think that's absolutely, you know, sad. Just absolutely sad. And it is dire. Yeah, there we go. Packrat says energy corridors looking like Sherman's march to the sea, except his march through Georgia was only a mile wide. Yeah, they're proposing over 100 million acres across the United States of America. And you can go back to that other channel if you want and watch the video we did with someone trying to teach us how we can fight back on these kinds of things.
100 million acres. Is that what you just said?
100 million acres. This is the clearest story that you don't own anything. Yeah, and you're going to be happy. And this is how they'll do it, right? Yep. Banquet says, don't sell land or pew-pews ever. I agree 100%. Although they're going to make a run at those too.
Say they'll just.
Oh, guarantee they will.
Intimate.
Yeah, I'm actually going to talk about that a little bit here a little bit later too. Tennessee supposedly now allows property tax payments, can accept silver and gold. And they need to get rid of property tax. Property tax is non-constitutional. It's just not constitutional in any way. We've already paid. And I could see somebody saying, hey, you bought it, you're going to pay sales tax on it. Got it. But once you pay it, just like a car, right? I mean, how crazy you go, you buy a new car, you pay sales tax, and then you pay property tax every year.
Every single year.
You end up paying more in property tax than you ever did for the car. And Scainsborough says it'll destroy the farmland for 100 years, more than that, right? How long has Keith Kelly been in the area? I'm guessing he doesn't have family land. Oh, he does. He's been around a long time. It just, none of it affects him, right? Here, if you make a recorded cemetery, it's protected. I wonder if what dimension is protected around the actual headstone, right? Is there some rule there? The DNC's frequent topic at the convention, Donald Trump, they sure scared him. Yeah, they are scared of him. Let me see here. That 19% plus pay raise is forever. I appreciate the employees who deserve a raise. The executive leadership, however, took the lazy approach and failed to responsibly administrate the forced funding. I could not agree more. I think that's perfectly said. Hey, Prep Rebel Actual, how are you? Good to see you. Yeah, I think it's a shame, but you know what? We are making ground and we are making a difference. Again, I was super proud that there was 100 people there this time.
Yeah. To
12 people last time. I was proud that there was many people stood up. Many people told the commissioners what they thought. Many people told them that they had no right to do this. Many people complained. Now they passed it anyway. And then if you watch the video, you'll see at the end, it was already done. It was a procedural meeting. They had already had the resolution drawn up so they could sign it right there at the meeting. So nothing we said changed that, but many people stood up and talked, and it wasn't just us. It just wasn't this community. Many people talking, I didn't even know.
Right.
And so I think we're making a ground with our social media efforts, with putting out the YouTube channel, getting people to watch the videos, spreading it around. We're getting more and more people involved. And at the end of the day, you guys, yoking up is a big, broad statement. It's not just who do I hang out with and build a barn with. Yoking up is also, you could be at more of a community approach of, I don't know them, but they live in my community and we're fighting the same battles as the county commissioners. It's another form of that. And so that kind of stuff is very exciting to me. You guys know that we had people in the community running for county commissioner this time. We lost those elections. But the neat thing is that the mindset of the community still garnered over 40% of the vote. And so next cycle, can we get over 50?
Yeah.
Can we continue to grow that?
Time because
well, the YouTube channel is going to help that. The social media posts are going to help that.
Well, just getting people familiar with what's going on, because a lot of people don't realize what, just like they say, oh, our people are so underpaid, we got to pay them. And the lady came up and said, I'm not saying that I'm against the good people getting raises. I'm not saying that. I'm not saying that our good employees shouldn't be paid well. They should be. But we have to be able to dictate where that goes. Like you said, not just clear across the board. Everybody gets raises.
Well, here's the thing.
Amount even.
Let's say for the minute that you had to do the COLA raise clear across the board. That is still a small percentage of the tax increase. They gave $395,000 to Parks and Recreation. They gave, all of this money to all these different places, but they blamed it on the employees. And like I said, if I was an employee of the county, I'd feel betrayed.
Because they blamed it on them?
They blamed it on the employees and the Indian reservation.
Right.
And the cost of gravel going up.
Well, the cost of everything going up.
Yeah. And obviously the cost of everything's gone up for everybody. But there was many people who stood up in the audience and said, this is not the time. People are suffering.
Right.
It is what it is, right? But at the end of the day, we are making ground, and I'm proud of those efforts. And I'm proud of those who are still in the fight and who are staying in the fight. And the next cycle ought to be pretty interesting, assuming we make it that far with everything else that's going on, right? One step closer says progress can be slow, but stay strong. Yep. Skanes Girl says they didn't lose by much. No, I mean, the mindset of freedom and that mindset of individual sovereignty, and that the rights begin with the individual over the collective, that theory garnered over 40% of the vote in my county. And I think that by itself is absolutely amazing. Conservative Fred says, even though they passed it, they will think long and hard about another one. Yes, they will. And we may even get a bump out of that where they don't raise it. We'll never even know because of those efforts. Starla says, if you need it translated into Spanish to reach Hispanic and Latinos, let me know. I'm going to remember that. Because I've had this need in the past.
Yeah.
Campaign platform, creeping government is something we should not only stop, but reverse. Yeah, we're having some talk about doing some, write-in ballots and stuff. I just don't know if we can win that way. But we can still create a noise, and I think that matters. And they were prepared for us this time. When we came in this time with the camera, they were ready. And two of the commissioners did a really good job of holding their temper. The other one just could not stand being laughed at. And he was literally laughed at by the entire audience. I really encourage you guys to go and watch. Juby Joe says, saw your video. It was a wake-up call. Yeah, it's crazy. And guys, I'm going to tell you something. If it can happen here in way out, remote Kansas, it can happen anywhere.
I heard the guy say, you saw it here, folks. Everybody's against it, and they still did it anyway.
Yep. Yep. And we made some friends, and we made some more connections. I got a chance to, talk to our local sheriff, and I told him that, that I know he knows this, but that he's the gatekeeper against unconstitutional laws, and that we count on him to do his job as the highest elected law enforcement official in the county. And he said he understood that. And that doesn't mean that's true, but it does mean that I could confront him about it and make at least that voice, known. Hey, Rhonda, how are you? Starla says, man, I'm not seeing a bunch of these comments. Yeah, do you have it on top comments or do you have it on all comments? If you go up in the top right-hand corner, you can change that, and usually that's the problem.
Do you have it on all comments?
Well, I'm not on YouTube.
Oh.
On my end, I see them all because I'm not on YouTube. Who is Comrade running against in November? So Comrade is not up for election in November. So Dan Brenner will run against Gerhardt, and Keith Kelly will run unopposed. The primary was the only chance to make an impact on Kelly, and he won the primary, so he will be there. Dan Brenner, who seems to be the most sensible of all of them, will run against Gerhardt, and the Comrade, as you mentioned, will be up in 2 years. But interestingly enough, he's in the same district as the Fabulous Fishers Gypsy, so maybe the correct amount of pressure, we can, put somebody there. We have a history of land buyouts now and know what's happening. It's a mess. I can't believe they can take somebody's farm. Yeah. Yeah, absolutely crazy. All right, so we get on to some national news.
Sure.
You excited?
Yes.
You ready for some good news?
Let me hear it.
You sure?
Is it good?
It's great. We have some fabulous news to talk to you guys about today, and some interesting connections that I found. I believe and always have that those able-bodied persons using welfare, food stamps, and Medicare should be trained to do government jobs as volunteers. Yeah, you know what, Nita, my opinion on this is beginning to change a little bit as I learn more and more about the system. Although I 100% agree with your statement, the system kind of preys on it that way, and they try to push into that place where you have to have them. This is also in the prison industry. There is zero reason why we should be jailing nonviolent criminals, victimless offenses. There's no reason. We could send them to welding school cheaper than what we put them in prison for, and yet we'd rather have them dependent upon the system. Hey, Banquet, have a good time. Says she's got to go feed. Anyway, I won't rant on that. Maybe that's for another one. Let's see what we got going on. I don't know if you guys know this, but at the Democratic National Convention, they built a wall around it. Did you know that?
Yeah.
Does that not seem ironic to you?
How so?
In that they don't want a wall around our country.
Oh.
But
right.
and then also,
well, they don't. That's because it's the rules for you and the rules for them are different. Their rules are different. Than
clearly, did you know that
yours.
they also required ID to enter the Democratic National Convention?
I thought you didn't need an ID to vote even.
You hit the nail on the head, Pumpkin.
You just go.
Isn't that ironic?
Don't you think?
Yep, they built around. I also find it fascinating that there was several reports of vehicles being unloaded with stacks of bricks around the DNC. Now, I have not seen any incidences with bricks as of yet.
Those bricks could not have been just unloaded. They're wrapped.
Yeah, they're brought out with a pallet fork,
Yeah.
pallet truck of some kind.
There's no pallet underneath.
Pack Rat says there's a lot of money in stocking a prison with cheap to lease out labor. Yeah, what a shame. Scanes Girl, I did. We're actually gonna talk about that here in a little bit. Hey, Nurse Wang, how are you? Busy packing for our Outer Banks trip. Oh, you go. Good for you. I heard an interesting idea. Dems know they can't beat Trump, so they will let him win and then just let the whole system collapse so they can blame him. LJC, I've been saying for a while that if I was a betting man, I would tell you Kamala's going to win the election unless they're looking for a fall guy. And so I actually kind of agree with that. Yep, Skanes Girl said they had to have their IDs checked 3 or 4 times. Conserve Friend says they built 2 and 3 walls. Yeah, I think it's just crazy. They don't want ID for voting, and they don't want a wall except when it comes to their own protection. What does this tell you, right? Yeah, build a wall around the convention and make the Republicans pay for it. Oh, yeah, they're way smarter than the Republicans are. It's all positive. The community is getting involved in how the change is taking place. It is. It absolutely is. Yeah. Dana Green says, yes, they will blame Trump. I think so, too. Yeah, I hope that's not the case. But I found some disturbing information that might kind of support that, which I'll share with you guys here in a little bit. Let me see here. Updated GPS data reveals that over 88,000 foreign and domestic Antifa members are in Chicago to protest at the DNC, 61,000 foreign and over 27,000 domestic. Some of these members have been linked to past riots. They also reported 100,000 anti-Israel protesters are expected to descend upon Chicago. I found this interesting, and we knew this was coming, right? But and whether it's staged or not, I think anybody can argue. But I found it interesting that the DNC convention itself had lots of empty seats. And you know what else I noticed about it is I didn't see a single American flag flying in the audience.
And they usually do.
Well, yeah, in an election. I mean, look at even the local election. Every little yard sign was red, white, and blue, right?
Yeah.
I mean, that's the way elections are. I mean, it's all banners. It's all, and may God bless the United States of America, right? The end of every single speech.
Yeah.
And yet there wasn't a single American flag. Hubby said, let them build a wall around themselves. Just don't let them leave. Yeah. Oh, this may rival the Chicago DNC convention of 1968. Maybe. Remember, it's for thee and not for me. Yep. Couldn't agree more. The only American flags were getting charred. Yeah, no, there were people burning them outside of the convention, but I did not see a single person in the convention. I looked. I did not find a single one. I wonder how the commissioners figured the COLA rate. Yeah, I think they pulled it out of their ass because I was standing there and it got Googled when I was standing there during the meeting. It was 2.3% is average. And they decided to give 20% over 2 years.
Well, he said that it was the 4% was what was the average at the time of decision.
Yeah, which you'd have to go back in time, but I bet you could find that and prove them wrong.
And he said that was back in June, right?
Yeah, I bet you could look up the June numbers, and find out. That'd be a great job for Indiana. He's smart like that. Saw the meme where everything is T-Man's fault. I laughed my boots off. There's some really weird stuff going on. There's, things like we talked about last week, free abortions going on at the DNC, right? This just satanic type stuff. And I think it's just the downfall of society and the downfall of our culture. And I think we're in big, big trouble. And this is such an important election. And I hate it because I really don't like Donald Trump. But at the end of the day, I can't vote for pedophiles and Satanists and, murderers. I just can't do it. I wish I always say I think it's just such a shame that those are the best we have to offer. It's just such a shame. Didn't they have flags behind Kamala when she did her speech? They like flags when they're trying to appear normal. Yeah, they may have had them, Leela, behind Kamala at the speech. What I'm talking about is the people in the audience. I didn't see a single one. Now, that doesn't mean they didn't exist, right? Nor does it mean the footage that I seen was altered or unaltered.
Yeah.
You mean, it's hard to tell these days, right? But absolutely crazy. You'll like this. It says Chicago is a war zone, and it's showing there are many marches. Protesters are stopping traffic at nighttime in Chicago, demanding to know whether or not they support Palestine. Yeah, protesters in Chicago dressed up as big abortion pills to walk down the streets near the DNC. You know, and a couple of interesting things I found. You guys might, let me go back. You guys might not find this funny. I found it hilarious. So center picture in the middle, Michelle Obama's necklace. Now, this might be AI, but it says Mike. I don't know if you guys find that interesting or not. I find it.
Yeah. You think it's doctored?
Who knows, baby? I wasn't there, you know. The picture on the right was a picture of Michelle and Barack Obama outside the DNC. You find that interesting?
That they're white?
No. You find anything else interesting?
Oh my gosh. She has man parts?
Yeah, the picture has her with man parts.
She looks like the girl. She looks like Kelly.
Well, they put a different body on her, clearly, because she is not built like that. And then they gave her man parts. I just find it fascinating. LJC says, I'm just happy we made it through the week without the world imploding. Yeah, you're probably not going to like me much later. But I hope it stays peaceful forever, and I hope this is just a blimp and we all come out of it, but I doubt strongly that's the case. Wow, sacrifices to Moloch for free via the celebratory abortion party bus. Yep.
Ugh.
Yep, absolutely crazy. Yeah, isn't that crazy?
That's awful.
Yep. Yeah.
What's it say? Let it all hang out in Chicago?
Yes, this is not a bus stop. Someone's mocking them, clearly, right?
Good grief.
Yeah. Juby Joe says, clearly divisiveness and to take us off topic. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Absolutely crazy. All right. Kamala Harris and Tim Walz got caught staging their Doritos purchase. I don't know if you guys seen this or not. I found it super, super fascinating that they went into a store so that people would see them as just normal. And Kamala asks for some corn nuts. And Tim Walz hands her some Doritos. And they didn't like it, so they had to film it a couple times. She ended up taking the Doritos anyway, but it was super kooky and totally just trying to seem normal. Also, I found it interesting that somebody projected the phrase Project 2025 headquarters on the Trump Tower in downtown Chicago. See it up there? With a projector. Right? And so whoever did this is going to get sued by Trump, just so you know. But they're trying to pin the Project 2025 on Trump, which, you know, he's clearly said several times that's not his agenda. But it's a dirty pool, right? Because how many people walk by don't know that and just take it, you know, for what it is.
Would they be able to determine where that came from?
Well, maybe. I don't know, babe. I don't have any idea. They will track it down, and Trump will sue them. They probably don't care, but they will. Kamala Harris says that she can end the gender pay gap. And for everybody out there, wait, what did Mo say? Sorry. If Trump loses, they will need to swing to someone else to blame for the failure. Surely won't go well for the conservative folks. I don't think he's going to win, but I hope I'm wrong. I do, because he is absolutely the better candidate, in my opinion. But
of the two, yeah.
Ignacio Perez says, I met some guy at the KC airport who were coming back from working security at the DNC. Oh, I'd like to hear that conversation, if there was one. Anyway, Kamala Harris says she's going to end the gender gap pay rate difference. You like that? You know, they say women make less than men for the same job.
Okay.
Even though it's not true. They say that. But her solution is for every 1% differential between what they are paying men and women for equal work, there will be a fine. They will fine companies 1% of their previous year's profit. Yeah. So think about that. Think about what that would do to business. Let me tell you guys something. There isn't the pay gap. They tell you there is because typically women don't work in building skyscrapers and running power lines. They don't typically. There's a few.
Yeah, I don't know.
Okay, but they don't. But here's the thing, guys. I'm a business guy. If I could legally get away with paying a girl 75% less than I could pay a boy and get the same quality of work, all I would do is hire girls. That makes perfect sense. I would. It wouldn't. Also, every other businessman would as well. Hey, Instigator, how are you? Says the ex-Secret Service head should have been protecting those Doritos. Yeah, the Dohertys. Yeah, let me see here. The online platforms are full of Project 2025 Trump, and that Trump is going to go after the agenda immediately for the global. Yeah, it actually is everywhere. Okay, guys, they're not talking to me. Okay, cool. Moving on. Let's see here. This was an interesting conversation. So I don't know if you guys watched it on Tucker Carlson, but he was talking to Jason Whitlock. And Tucker Carlson is reacting to the DNC, and he notices the Democrats' entire platform was built on two things. And I don't know if you guys paid attention to it, but most of the talk was about one of three topics. The first one was obviously how bad Trump was, but everything else was pretty much on dismantling the First and the Second Amendment. And Tucker Carlson was talking to Jason Whitlock, and Jason Whitlock says, Tucker, you're forgetting that's all part of the saving of democracy. Getting rid of the First and the Second Amendment is how you save the democracy, Tucker. To which Tucker replied, and by saving democracy, you mean make everyone who disagrees with what we're doing shut up or go to prison? To which they replied, yes.
That wouldn't be good.
Yep. Kamala Harris also backs President Biden's 44.6% capital gains tax, the highest in history. Okay, so capital gains, guys, when you invest money, for anybody who don't know, capital gains is what you make. If you have a profit on your investment, that's called a capital gains. Okay? And they want to tax it at 44%. And that's bad. But there's a whole worse part of this too. The proposal includes a 25% tax on unrealized gains. So for those of you who don't know what an unrealized gain is, if you have $100 in Walmart stock and it goes up to $200, they're going to tax you on that profit, even though you didn't take it out.
Oh my gosh.
Okay, so then the
But
next
that fluctuates.
Yes, it does. And what they're going to say is they're going to say that's okay because if it loses money, you can write it off on your taxes. So they're going to put us in a position to where we have to write it on our taxes. But how many people don't do that?
Right.
It's burdensome. They'll make it completely burdensome. And so therefore, they're going to get 25% tax on unrealized gains and a 44.6% tax on capital gains once you pull it out.
That doesn't seem fair.
You guys have heard me say this many, many times. You're already taxed right now. The average American today with the average income today is taxed at 59% of their income. If you take every single tax involved, now if you make any money, they want a 25% cut if it's unrealized and a 44.6% cut if it is realized. Yeah. And for those of you, before you ask on the live, I no longer have any money in the markets. Started Doke says, Life Done Free, can you do a video on water storage treatment and rainwater harvesting? Yeah, I'm actually getting ready to build a rainwater system for the community building, and I will absolutely film it. The thing about water treatment for rainwater, the best thing you can do is rotate it. What I mean is use it.
The water.
Get it flowing through there, and, don't let it just sit there and be stagnated. We don't really treat ours much. Except that when it comes into the house, it goes through its filters, UV filters and stuff. Yes,
but we don't treat it.
We don't pour stuff in it, to treat it. The darn thing is save democracy. We are not a doggone democracy. I know we're a constitutional republic, but they don't like to talk about that, right? Yeah, invest in ammo. That's actually not a bad thing. And like every other tax, it will not fall on the high net worth individuals, but come squarely down on the middle class. There will be no more middle class background.
Right.
They're working very, very hard to eliminate the middle class completely. They want 99% of the people to own nothing and be happy, which means the other 1% will own everything. Right. So capital gains equals also when you sell property and don't reinvest those. 100% right. So you live in a house, You sell that house, you make money, what they call equity, which by the way is bullshit. And if those of you guys who don't understand that, I did a video on the illusion of equity. You go back in my channel and you can listen to it. It's not what they make it out. But anyway, they won't take a look at the whole picture. Let me explain what I mean by that. They'll take the amount you bought the house for and the amount you sold the house for, minus any receipts you can provide of home improvement. What's left over, they're going to consider equity. Okay, but it's not. It's not equity because what they're not taking into account is your property taxes you paid along the way, your insurances you were required to have along the way. They're not taking out your other costs. But what they call equity is also considered capital gains if you don't invest it back in. G. John's hit it right, 100% right on the head. And so he says logically they would get a 25% unrealized gain on the house unless you can prove you would reinvest it. This is actually a great thing. Does this mean, I didn't think about this, G. Johns, that they can drive the price of your home up, and when your home appreciates by $30,000, they can then one-time tax you 25% on your unrealized gains.
Yep.
What a crock of shit.
Ouch.
Absolutely, absolutely crazy. Dana says, that's not bad. I'm an hour. Oh, I'm sorry, you guys are talking to each other. My bad.
Double dipping.
Well, it absolutely is double dipping. Hey, lazy loper, how are you? Yeah, Farm Ranch says, speaking of taxes, they also want to tax garage sale income derived from goods on which taxes have already been paid and purchased by dollars which has already been taxed. Of course they do. Of course they do. This is why they want to get rid of the dollar. This is why they want to go to a central bank digital currency, right? Because then they can tax absolutely everything. I really want to applaud that comment about taxing capitalized gains on your house. I didn't even think about that, but this would be absolutely a way to drive you off your property. Because here's what they'll do. They'll drive the value up so high that they'll 25%, 25%, 25%, 25%. They drive the value of your house up $200,000. That means that year you'll owe 50 grand. How many people could withstand that? That would, man, that's horrible. If your stock drops majorly, it can only be used to pay no taxes. But when it goes up, the sky is the limit. 100% right. They're not going to let you get below zero. They'll just let you take it to zero. Mo, that's a great point.
Jeez.
Yeah, exciting, isn't it?
That's not good news at all.
It's great news because at least we're aware of it.
Yeah, but there's nothing you can do about it.
Oh, I don't agree with that at all. I think it's a hard fight.
Don't sell your house.
No, it doesn't matter because if they can apply a 25% tax on unrealized gains, you won't have to sell your house for them to be able to get at you.
No, they'll just tax you and take it.
That's right. And so, you can take what a good friend of mine's approach is and try to keep your tax liability way down. Don't build big, only build small, those kinds of things. And maybe you'd even get to a point where you burn your house down to say, hey, I don't have my house anymore. You have that right.
Grief.
Right. I'll live in a smaller house, whatever it is. But this is a great way, especially for people on Social Security, because if you can imagine that old lady we were talking about, she's got 300 acres of land out here. Oh, that's probably valued at $1.5 million. So you take that $1.5 million and let's say it grows to 3 million.
Right.
Then, right. That's $1.5 million of
Taxes.
Unrealized gains. Right. And at that point in time, she would have a capital gains hit that she'd never be able to afford on Social Security, which then would force her into foreclosure, which is another way you'll own nothing and you'll still be happy. Right.
But then she's losing it all.
She's losing it all. There's also another thought being talked that the 25% unrealized gain on home value could be on a yearly basis. Yeah. That's how they'll force you out of it. Right. That's how they're going to force you out of it. God, y'all hit the like button. Only about half the people have. Thank you very much. Unless you live in the country who is trying to clamp down on living in a small home. Oh, and for the win, LJC. Yeah. See, I try to bring good news, and LJC is, Debbie Downer to the party.
Sheesh.
I know, right? LJC, you need to go have some Wheaties.
I don't think that's going to help.
Yeah. Moving on, right? So Donald Trump put out a tweet or whatever that said the Harris-Biden administration had been caught fraudulently manipulating job statistics to hide the true extent of the economic ruin they have inflicted upon America. New data from the Bureau of Labor Statistics shows that the administration padded the numbers with an extra 818,000 jobs that did not ever exist. And what I think is interesting is that then they were called on it at the DNC convention. And so I'll just read some of the back and forth. So the reporter asks, Raimondo says, hey, nearly 1 million jobs created since Kamala took office did not exist. And Raimondo says, I don't believe it because I've never heard Trump say anything truthful. To which the reporter said, it's from the Bureau of Labor. And Raimondo says, I'm not familiar with that. Fox News later on confirmed that they overstated the employed number by $818,000. If anyone's house in your county burns down, your taxes would drop, which sounds awful to me. Yeah. How would they tax a dugout in a hill like our great grandparents lived in? I don't know, but isn't that crazy that that's what you're going to be stuck with, right? LJC says not Wheaties, but Fruit Loops. After all the government saying they're healthier than eggs.
Fruit Loops.
Seniors in the community have been paying taxes for decades. The commissioners should be personally responsible for collecting taxes from them so they can explain why they need more. I'd love that. Juba Joe says that's what I'm concerned about. So they have land undeveloped without a home, but buildings on a cement block. Yeah, we're gonna have to get creative for sure, because again, I think the path to getting us to own nothing is clear. I think that we have enough information to know how they'll attack it and the way that they'll go about doing it. Yeah, Dana Green says Lucky Charms is better than eggs. G. John says, oh, it's normal to overstate jobs. That this was the biggest since 2009, I think. Yeah, I think I read that too. Oh, they're going to tax our land too. Oh, yeah. Well, that's how they're going to come at you. They will tax you into oblivion, right? But this is why I always tell you guys, when it comes to the stroke game, we have to eliminate all of it we can, because there's some of it we can't. Right now, I can't do anything with taxes. But as long as I'm not paying a mortgage, I'm not paying for an electric bill, I'm not paying for a water bill, I'm not paying for those things, I can funnel all of my available resources in a fight to one issue, 2 issues, or 3 issues instead of 300 issues. Let's see here. All right. Well, anyway, so I think this is interesting that all this news came out about the overstated jobs numbers, but does anybody find it interesting that it just disappeared? Why are they not talking about it? I can tell you why. There's an interesting connection, because as soon as this story broke, the Fed's Powell says it's time has come to lower interest rates. So as soon as the story breaks about them lying about the jobs, then the Fed comes out and says, hey, we're going to lower interest rates, which guess what happened? The stock market climbed. They just buried the story, right? The Feds get to control it. So they had a bad story come out, and all they did is change the narrative, and everyone forgot about 1 million almost misreported jobs. Tell me how that works, right? Consider, friends, I bought my house for $170,000, now worth $500K. So I would pay 25% on $330K. Not many retirees come up with $82,500.
Right.
Yeah, especially annually.
Right. On top of everything else.
Yeah. Man, guys, we better get in the fight. We absolutely better get in the fight.
How are they expecting people to do that?
They don't want you to do it. That's the point. They want the government to own everything, and we rent everything. Because property values drop. Maybe. I mean, there's a lot of places in our country, even though a lot of them are going down, there's still some that are going up. I mean, it's still manipulated, Mo. Just like the gold market or, a million other things. By the way, the lady that didn't know about the jobs report is the Secretary of Commerce. I know. Yeah, let me go back here. Let me show him what he's talking about. I should have said that. This lady, Raimondo, right? Secretary Raimondo, which, by the way, is also in charge of the CHIPS Act. But she said she was not familiar with that report from the Bureau of Labor. That's the Secretary of Commerce. Thanks for pointing that out, but 100% correct. They might be lenient and deferred until your death. They'll just take your land and your house from your heirs. That's right. They may come out and say, okay, this doesn't apply to you. It only applies to the next of kin, which then in one generation, you've owned nothing and you're probably miserable. Everything I wanted to buy in Texas had about 20,000 plus taxes a year. Yeah, no thanks. Oh, sorry. I want to open this up here real quick. Hey. Oh, I'm sorry to hear that. Hey, guys, we've got a community member, Squatchy and, his family out there who are going through some trouble. So let the prayer warriors get out there and, let's say a prayer for them that they, get through this and heal through this. And, there's bright days ahead for sure, but let's do them all a favor and get those prayers out to them. Okay. Carrie Davis says, talk about all these taxes makes me want chocolate. When you buy a house, you should get a truth in taxing statement similar to the truth in lending. The government gets more than the bank. Yes, they do. They absolutely get more than the bank. They do it in cars too. Wait a minute. I'm a little slow. Does that mean unrealized gains would be applied to my primary residence? Yes. If they can tax an unrealized gain, Mike, when your value of your home goes up, that's an unrealized capital gains. You hit that right on the head. Absolutely right on the head. Yeah, Pete, I'm sorry, Squatchy, that you're going through that stuff, and I really am, bud. But it will pass. And I'm sorry for your suffering, but I promise you, there's many people in here that are sending you prayers right now, and you'll get through it. I promise you'll get through it, and I'm here for you. And if you want to talk, I know you know how to get a hold of me to reach out to me, but we can absolutely do a 9 o'clock phone call and just chit chat. I'm here for you. Wasn't that the picture of the reporter, not the labor secretary?
The reporter.
Well, let's go back. Was that the reporter or the labor secretary? Raimondo is the Secretary of Commerce. Maybe that's the reporter. I've never met Raimondo, so I don't know. It's one of the two, but I can tell you Raimondo is the Secretary of Commerce. All right. Yeah. Thank you guys for all those prayers. I love it when things come up and all you guys, get in the comments and you let them know that they're loved and they're thought of. And I think it means a lot to them. I know it means a lot to me. And so I can't tell you how much I appreciate it. Okay. Let's see here. Did you hear what Trump said? Talking about the jobs reports again. Trump said that we must have a patriot on the inside who leaked the Biden-Harris administration fraudulent, made up nearly 1 million jobs. And I think that's interesting that he would say that, meaning that maybe that wasn't supposed to happen, that they were going to try to keep it till after the November 5th election. What's this? I must have already forgot. @tag, please don't forget what you're going to share with us. You have any idea what I'm supposed to share?
No.
I love you. I don't know. I don't know what I'm supposed to share. Apparently I've already forgot. Yeah, maybe Raimondo wasn't familiar with the Bureau of Labor. Maybe. I think pretty hard to say that, though. They all kind of run in the same circles, President Trump has pledged to reinstate all members of the military with back pay and a formal apology who were fired for refusing to take the jab.
Oh.
I'm super supportive of that, right?
Wow.
And while all this was going on, Iranian hackers targeted WhatsApp account of staffers of Biden and Trump, says Meta.
Don't you have WhatsApp?
I do. I have all the apps, but I barely get on them. But let me see here. Did he say? That's Raimondo. Okay. Packrat says that it was Raimondo. Interesting. Yeah, I think it's crazy how they have these bad job numbers and then they lower the interest rates right behind it. It seems like a little bit of a scam to me. You got to remember the same people are in charge, right? You want me to turn the light on?
That's probably a good idea.
Is that better, everybody? Oh, hello. It's getting dark out here. But anyway, I think it's absolutely crazy that that's going on, And all it's going to take is for them to get into power, and there's a lot of shenanigans, going on everywhere. The Texas Attorney General, Ken Paxton, had just confirmed that non-citizens were getting registered to vote across the state. His undercover investigators caught various Democrat-linked NGOs giving voter registration forms to people at the DMV locations. And in Virginia, they scrubbed, I think it was 6,000, is that what it said in there? 6,000 illegal voting, voters from the Doles after a big investigation. And so they're waging the war on every single front, and they're trying to pad the votes all in every way they can. They're trying to put us in a situation where these laws, I mean, that's all, guys. This is why they want Kamala, right? If they want Kamala, this is why, is because she'll do what she's told. She's not that bright, and she'll just go along with it. A 25% unrealized gain, a 25% tax on unrealized gain will wreck this country.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Will absolutely wreck this country. And you will lose everything. I don't know how in the world you ever go fight it. I mean, you could fight it for a little while. I could fight it for a little while, but pretty quick, that would be that.
That's a yearly cost.
Oh, could you imagine? I mean, I know people in our community who work their asses off to be debt free. And so they go and own a home, let's say it's worth $500,000, right? And they built the home with their own labor.
Yeah.
Does this relate to you?
Yep.
Okay. And now the county appraisers are going to put a value on it, right?
Yep.
They're raising the values.
Yep.
And now you're going to pay capital gains on it. I think it's just, yeah, absolutely crazy.
Is that already there?
No, she's proposing it. The Office of the Inspector General, Management Alert, ICE determined that they cannot monitor all unaccompanied migrant children released from DHS and Department of Health and Human Services. In their report, what they're saying is that they've lost 300,000 kids that have come across the border, and they're not sure where they are. Speaker Johnson slams Biden administration for stunning IG report on 300,000 missing kids. And to put this into context, you guys, I included a picture of the Big House. So this is where Michigan plays football. It's the largest stadium in the United States. Okay. The number of kids that they've lost, which I would presume most of this is to sex trafficking, et cetera, would fill the Big House 3 times.
Oh my gosh.
Think of the kids, you guys, who don't know anything about this politics. They're just trying to be kids. They've lost enough kids, enough immigrant kids in our country, right? The land of Satanism and the land of pedophile, to fill the Big House 3 times. Yeah. 3 times. Packrat said 100% there's big money in lost kids. Yeah. All right. On to some better news. Tax-funded group offers $30,000 to new home buyers as long as you're not a U.S. citizen. I reported this last week, but I didn't have a lot to back it. So I did a bunch more research, and Chuck Schumer was quoted as saying Kamala will give everyone, including illegals, $25,000 to a down payment. And Oregon is now giving $30,000 for new home buyers. The only requirement is you got to be an immigrant. Hacienda Community Development Corp is participating in a taxpayer-funded, we wonder why taxes are high,
right,
payment assistance program that gives money to non-citizens to buy homes in Oregon while excluding American citizens from eligibility according to directions provided by the Daily Caller. Hacienda CDC is reportedly offering $30,000 for down payment assistance for eligible new home buyers through their Cameo Casa program, according to a screenshot first reported by ex-user Oregon citizen. Clients work closely with financial coaches and HUD-certified housing counselors throughout the entirety of the home buying process. You'll own nothing and you'll be happy. Right? Yeah, sickening. Yeah. 100% discrimination. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely shocking that we've lost 300,000 immigrant children. We're incentivizing people who have no skin in the game to pick up the homes, right? So that means they have an unfair advantage, right? So more and more of them will own homes, and less American kids, trying to live the American dream, will own homes. Yep. And they'll, just continue down this process. And I mean, it's a shame that we put up with it. I mean, it's a shame that the American people are not awake. I can't believe, even at our county commissioner meeting last night, why wasn't there 500 people there? Right? I was proud of the 100 that was there, but I mean, it's got to hurt. Apparently there's not enough stabbings by immigrants in the streets. There's not enough executions. There's not enough people being raped. There's not enough, rape underwear being sold to protect them as they are in Great Britain. There's not enough people being arrested for the social media posts that are going on in England right now, and other countries. right? Apparently it just doesn't hurt bad enough.
Mm.
So I was just curious, what the housing market was looking like if they were going to do this for the immigrants that are coming in. And so breaking U.S. existing house sales plummet by 2% year over year to 4.1 million in July, marking the weakest July since at least 2012. So the housing sales were weaker here than they were at any point in time since 2012. Over the last 3 years, sales have declined by nearly 3 million and are sitting at their lowest levels since the 2020 pandemic. At the same time, pending home sales decreased by 5.8% year over year to their second worst level on record, aside from April 2020. And the New York Post is reporting a record 60,000 home deals crashed in July amid election fears. And so maybe they're trying to bring all these immigrants in, give them all of these benefits so we can prop up the housing market so they can hide the collapse for longer. I don't know. Maybe
why wouldn't they just offer those to Americans then? I mean, they're
Mm-hmm.
giving them $25,000 as down payments.
Yeah. Well, but because if they do all this for the immigrants, they'll probably control the voting block. I don't know. My hubby just got home and asked what we were discussing, and I told him. He said, yeah, why do you think all hotels are owned by foreigners? I'd buy a hotel too with the terms the government gives them. Yeah, exactly. G. John says $25,000 toward the down payment on a house. Kamala's definition of RIO. Yeah. ROI. Right. Let me see here. They know where they are, I'm sure. Children just can't just disappear. I think it's sad. I hurt for them. Because, guys, they don't know any better. They're human beings, just like our kids are. And they want a great life just like our kids do. I think it's just a shame.
They were probably promised a better life.
Yeah, I still don't know why I'm here. I just know there's a reason. Well, the reason is getting a fight, maybe, huh? I don't know. I don't know either. In case you're curious, on the economic front, since the Biden administration, gasoline's up 51%, electricity 32%, airfare 23%, groceries 22%, eggs 47%. I see an egg the other day for $6 a dozen again. Apparently they're going back up. Car insurance 54%, K-12 food 66%, rent 22%. But it's not just rent. We talked about it earlier with the raising of taxes and the increased valuations of your homes, which, by the way, you guys, is a tax. Just so you know. I mean, they arbitrarily raise the value of the home. It's not free market, right? And so it's all a tax. I clipped this ad today out of Topeka, which is 30 minutes from me, and I just absolutely could not believe it that here in Kansas, right? Everything's slow here. Double wide trailer, and you guys can see the picture, $1,200 a month plus a $1,200 deposit.
That's insane.
That is insane. I had a nice house before where I live, and my mortgage was $1,200 a month.
Yeah.
Right? $1,400? One of them.
Well, it was 12 in 2009.
Okay. It'd been a while for me since I've had a mortgage, but.
And then it went up, 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 and then
Yep. Everything will go up with that interest rate cut. Everything will go up with that interest rate cut. Department of Homeland Security employees have testified in Congress that they were made to drop dozens off at the same address or even empty lots to do their job, and it's not your problem. Nothing has been done criminal. Yeah, I think they should put those people in jail. I think you should be held accountable for your moral responses. And just because your boss tells you to dump off a bunch of kids in a parking lot does not make it moral or correct, and they should be prosecuted. Yeah. Absolutely freaking insane. Okay, so I figured I would save this story for you guys. It's another piece that kind of got glued together in all of this that kind of makes a little bit of sense to me, but you'll really like this, B.
Okay.
You excited?
Yeah.
All right, rock on. So World Economic Forum report hiding in plain sight confirms that upwards of 6 billion people will die in 2025. And according to reports from Davos, Klaus Schwab has confirmed the stated goal on a target to be achieved. The World Economic Forum co-founder Klaus Schwab was caught boasting in a loose-lipped moment with reporters that Agenda 2030 is a red herring or a ruse to throw normies off the scent. In reality, the situation is more urgent than that. 2025 is the year that elite are earmarking for massive worldwide population decline. And according to Schwab, the goal of reducing the population by more than 6 billion people is on track to be achieved. A BBC journalist reported that she was summoned to Davos earlier this month for the regular meeting where Klaus Schwab briefs the mainstream media on which narratives to promote in order to advance the globalist agenda. The journalist noted that it was her first time attending the monthly meeting in Davos, though some of her colleagues have been participating for years. She described Klaus as being strangely emotional, almost as if he was intoxicated, laughing frequently and reminiscing in a sociopathic manner about the depopulation agenda, which he admitted had been intricately planned for decades. Schwab had every reason to feel confident in the fulfillment of these evil plans. He has recruited the majority of cabinets and the governments of Western nations, subverting our democracies. The World Economic Forum generation of young global leaders have destroyed from the inside the once great nations of the United Kingdom, right? And then they're arresting people for thought crimes, right? France, same thing. Australia, Canada, and New Zealand, right? The mainstream media and education system and science have been compromised by the global elite, paid off by billionaires and megalomaniacs to become mouthpieces for the global agenda. As the next generation of leaders prepare to hammer out the final nail in the coffin, it's time to take a stand before Schwab's sick visions come to fruition. In a world where reality is often stranger than fiction, the machinations between the global agenda can often seem like a mystery wrapped in an enigma. One such intrigue revolves around Daigle.com. Now, I don't know if you guys are familiar with this. I've talked about this on my lives before. So there was a Dr. Edwin Deagle, who he died in 2021. This was a website that basically tracked expenditures of all foreign governments. But anyway, for years and years and years, they've been predicting a massive die-off in a lot of countries in the year 2025. And so this article was interesting to me because it lines those two up, which I find super interesting. Deagle was officially run by a shady figure known as Dr. Edwin Deagle Jr., who died in 2021, but the clock counts down to 2025. Understanding the truth about Deagle Jr. has never been more important. Why? Because real-world data on excess deaths in the West strongly suggests Daigle's depopulation forecast was not just an estimate, but is a target that is on track to hit thanks to the deadly effects of COVID-19 vaccinations. And so I think it's, again, interesting that both what's being reported from Klaus Schwab and then also Deagle report kind of line up.
Have you lived there before?
Oh, yes.
I mean, recently?
Yeah, so Deagle's infamous.
Is this right now?
Yep. They took the website down last year.
Okay.
But obviously it's been archived and you guys can find it. Deagle.com's infamous 2025 forecast removed from the website sometime in 2020. However, thanks to the Wayback Machine Internet Archive, we're able to view the original predictions. Deagle predicted in 2020 that the UK would see a population decline of 77.1% by the year 2025, and that the US would see a 68.5% decline by 2025. And I actually pulled up their graph, and this is the United States, which says we have a population of 326 million, and it will be 99 million by the end of 2025. And I just find it absolutely interesting that we have all of the stuff going on, all of these side effects, all of the economic stuff, the wars going on everywhere, monkeypox and other stuff, right, that's going on right now. And there's a bunch of stuff pointing to 2025. What a great way to have a goal, to be free or to be out of the system by 2025. Right?
Yeah.
I'm going to get back to that a little bit here in a little bit with some of the stuff, but I wanted to comment on RFK Jr. As you guys, I don't know if you guys know this or not, if everybody knows this or not, RFK Jr. dropped out of the race today and endorsed Donald Trump. What I found super interesting about it, as soon as he did it, Donald Trump put out a tweet that said, "Do you support me appointing RFK Jr. to become the CIA director?" And then a statement from Robert F. Kennedy Jr.'s announcement today. The Kennedy family got together and put this out. It says, "We want an American filled with hope and bound together by a shared vision of a brighter future, a future defined by individual freedoms, economic promise, and national pride. We believe in the Harrison Walls. Our brother Bobby's decision to endorse Trump today is a betrayal of the values that our father and our family hold most dear. It is a sad ending to a sad story." And so his family turned on him for doing that.
And they even put their names on there.
Yeah. Crazy, huh?
Wow.
Yep. And remember, I was talking to you guys about how they, as every civilization falls, the laws become more and more intrusive. And London has gotten to be really kind of a dictatorship. As I mentioned, they're arresting people for thought crimes, as they are in Australia, and there are a lot of other places. But this week, a British Columbia woman, now this is Canada, was arrested after radically offensive social media content. So they're arresting people for what they're posting on social media now in Canada. Well, yep. Let me see here. That's a quick response, almost like they coordinated or planned it. Yeah. Yeah, super quick response, huh? It came right out. The JFK getting out of the race happened today, and actually not very long ago, just a couple hours ago. They turned on him when he ran for the independent ticket. For some, money is more important than family. Uh-huh.
You think they did it for money?
I think they do everything for money, babe. That's what happens when the entire nation gives up their pew-pews. That's 100% right. 100%. Sorry, I'm trying to truck through this. I know we're getting close, babe. Just to tell you how disturbing everything is, I found something also very interesting today when I was looking at it. So back in August the 2nd of 2022, President Biden announced team to lead monkeypox response in 2022. Okay. 2 years ago. Okay. Today, President Biden named FEMA's Robert Fenton as the White House National Monkeypox Response Coordinator. And this name is important for you guys to remember. Dr. Dmitry Daskalakis as the White House National Monkey Response Deputy Coordinator. So this Dmitry guy, this is the guy that's in charge for our country for the monkeypox response. Okay, so if you look at him on Wikipedia, he is an American physician and gay health activist serving as a director of the Division of HIV/AIDS Prevention in the National Center for HIV and AIDS, Viral Hepatitis, STD, and TB Prevention since 2020. There's a lot of talk about the AIDS virus and the coronavirus, right?
Yes.
COVID-19.
Yes.
Monkeypox, if you've done any research on it, we talked about this last week, is transmitted through mostly male-on-male homosexual sex. And they have the gay health activists in charge of it. So maybe that's why it's important to him. But and Rand, I love this, and it's 100% true. Monkeypox with a K is silent. Yeah, it's moneypox. Mm-hmm. Couldn't agree more. But in case you guys were curious who is charged, I thought I'd share some pictures with you.
Is that him?
That would be him. Yep.
Oh, crap.
Yep. So this is the guy. And I find it interesting that if you look at his tattoos, he's got a pentagram on there.
Oh, you could see that?
Yeah, you can blow it up. I blew it up when I was putting it in here. Hey, Tim, how are you? Yep. Big HIV activist, but I find it super fascinating that a lot of the symptoms they talk about in monkeypox really could cover for some of the side effects that have gone on in the COVID stuff. And, again, we have this big population die-off that's supposed to happen, right? Bill Gates seeding monkeypox in major cities via chemtrails. A disturbing revelation has emerged from within the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation as a whistleblower comes forward to expose a plan to use the existing chemtrail operation to unleash the next pandemic. A senior scientist has bravely broken her silence to reveal a covert operation known as Project Skypox, which involves spraying a highly contagious variety of aerosol moneypox over unsuspecting civilian populations with a view of causing a new pandemic and rolling out punishing regime of vaccines and restrictions. Claiming that staff at the Gates Foundation are divided over the morality of this operation, a senior scientist warns that Gates is laser focused on the plan and determined to push ahead whether his staff agrees or not, which I find absolutely interesting that Klaus Schwab talks about depopulation of the earth. Bill Gates talks about depopulating the earth. Dangle.com talks about depopulating the earth. And they all seem to be pointing to the time that we're living in now. Whistleblower Doctor has just provided me with links that exhibit that the monkeypox rash claims and HIV rash are one of the same. He is advising that anyone to develop a rash of any kind after 2 or more COVID-19 injections get immediate testing. In a monkeypox coverage story in 2021, NTI predicts a laboratory-engineered vaccine-resistant monkeypox outbreak with 271 million deaths. This is a cover-up for the fatalities of the COVID injection, WHO is a criminal organization led by Bill Gates, the Rockefellers, and the Wellcome Trust. Told you guys I had good news for you.
That's not good news.
No? How about a German doctor exposes monkeypox scam, says it is a COVID-19 vaccine side effect. From the German article titled, Dr. Monkeypox is actually shingles, is a side effect of the COVID vaccines. The main symptom of monkeypox is a rash that can look like blisters and is accompanied by severe pain. This is also typical for herpes zoster or shingles, noted Dr. Wolfgang Wodark earlier in an interview with Australian broadcaster. Shingles is a skin disease in which the affected person develops blisters on the skin that resembles chickenpox. Make sure I got that. Shingles. Okay. Shingles is also is a known side effect for the corona vaccine. Attorney Aaron Siri made sure that 390,000 reports from a monitoring system, VSafe, of the American Health Service, CDC, were made public, and it shows that 1 in 450 people reported shingles after the vaccination. According to WADARG, the expensive PCR test that pharmaceutical giant Roche has launched on the market to detect the monkeypox virus are not reliable. He argues that they are now making people afraid of the disease that are actually the side effects of the COVID vaccinations. The side effects of the COVID vaccinations are being used to scare us about the other conditions the doctor stresses. Whew, that was a lot to read. Being in the country is not feasible for us. Plus, this property is very secure, 8-foot tall fences. Yeah, sorry, you guys were talking together and I interrupted. My turn. My bad. All right. That's all pretty interesting stuff, huh? And with 5 minutes left to spare, I thought I'd share a very interesting story. Did you guys know that in right now, as we speak in Massachusetts, they are urging people to curfew over a mosquito spread disease that kills up to 50% of people. Have you heard this?
What?
I did not hear of this until today.
Curfew?
Yeah. So the Eastern equine encephalitis is very rare in the U.S., they say, but when it strikes, it's bad. So I don't know if you guys know this or not, but a small town in Massachusetts urging residents to stay in the evenings after the spread of a dangerous mosquito spread virus reaching a critical risk level. The virus causes Eastern equine encephalitis, EEE, which kills between 30 and 50% of the people who are stricken, who are often children under the age of 15 and the elderly. Around half who survive are left permanently disabled, and some die within a few years due to complications. There's no treatment for EEE, and so far one person in the town, an elderly resident in Oxford, has already become seriously ill with the EEE virus. The EEE virus is spread by mosquitoes in certain swampy areas of the country, particularly in the Atlantic and Gulf Coast states and the Great States region. Mosquitoes shuttle the virus between wild birds and animals, including horses and humans. In humans, the cases vary. Few cases in the U.S. each year, on average 11, according to the Center of Disease Control. But on August 16th, which I find interesting, they asked people to self-curfew and stay inside at night.
So their mosquitoes are only active at night then. That's good.
Yeah, that doesn't
Ours are like
all day long.
All day long.
Less at night, actually, I think.
So, well, I think it's probably less at night because we're not active at night. I mean, they follow us around.
Yeah, there's so many interesting things going on these days. And, you know, the problem is, I don't know if any of it's true. Well, you don't, babe. There's just no way that a rational person can say that Fox News is telling the truth and CNN isn't.
Right.
No rational person can say that MSNBC is right and ABC is wrong. I mean, who knows? These are legitimate places that I find these things, but who knows, right? AK Amber says, I'm really glad you covered these topics. Yeah, I spent a lot of time researching, trying to find the connections and how things interact with each other, because I think if you learn it enough, I think you'll find the truth. I think this is a great way to end our live tonight. Is Tamber says, I need community. You know, and at the end of the day, community is everything, and it's the only way we're going to get through so many of these things. If I didn't have a community here, I couldn't muster any support to go to my county commissioners and make a dent. Without community, we couldn't do any of these things. And so I thought, as the final slide for tonight, I'll share a quote with you from Napoleon Bonaparte that said, war is when the government tells you who the bad guy is, and revolution is when you decide for yourself. I like that. Yeah.
I like that.
But I don't think revolution is what many people think it is, right? I mean, revolution isn't necessarily violence, right? We're part of the revolution just sitting here talking about these topics tonight, right? We are.
Right. Could be homeschool your kids, grow your own food.
Yeah, get out of the system.
Alternative medicine.
Yeah, I mean, I think anything that we do that helps us remove stroke will help us deal with the taxes and the things coming up.
Removing
But
the stroke.
removing the stroke is the key to the revolution. And to me, the revolution is just getting out of the system. And I would encourage all of you guys to sit down, take a piece of paper out, look at your checkbook registry and figure out who you're asking permission from, and then go attack those. Go eliminate as many as you can, guys, because I'm telling you, when they come for it, when they come for a 25% tax on unrealized gain, when they come for spraying monkeypox or whatever it is in the air, the only thing you're going to be able to count on is the community you're in.
Yeah.
Only thing you're going to be able to count on is the work that you did to break the stroke ahead of time. Nothing else is going to save you. So I think my parting words to all of you guys is you better get busy.
Find your people.
Mm-hmm. What else, Punk?
Hold the line.
Go give an inch.
Don't give an inch.
Tag and be out. We'll see everybody. Good night, everybody.